One of my really close high school friends is about to have her first baby in a couple of months. So I'm gonna pack her a postpartum essentials box. I've done this before with a few of my friends when they've had babies and they've really loved it. I know it's something that I would have really appreciated if somebody did for me. This is something you can do, especially for a first-time mom, but even if it's their second time around. A lot of times moms-to-be aren't actually thinking about these things, or if they're a first-time mom, they might not know about these things and what types of supplies they need when they're going to give birth. It's so exciting to build your baby registry and get all of those things ready that the mom often gets left behind. So I think it's a really kind thing to do, to put one of these baskets together. It can be like a little basket if you live near them. I have a box that I'm going to ship because my friend lives in Chicago and I'm in Nebraska. So I have to ship this to her, and I am trying to give this to her a few months out from her due date. I don't want to do it too far in advance, but also I want to make sure she hasn't bought some of these things for herself. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm packing, but I want to chat about some other ideas as well as we pack this up, because I didn't buy absolutely everything that you need postpartum, just because there's a lot of supplies and it can get quite pricey. The first thing that I have is a pack of adult diapers. Now these are actually new. They have really good reviews. They are the Always postpartum underwear. The Always Discreet brand, I think, is the one that I like. Their boutique brand is the one that I've liked in the past. But the fact that they have some postpartum ones, I thought I would grab a pair of these and put them in the box here. You could also do pads and panty liners and things, but a lot of times moms don't realize that they're going to need diapers, and I think that the diapers are much more comfortable than pads. I transitioned to pads a little bit later into the bleeding phase, but having these right away is wonderful. Other things for postpartum healing, I grabbed a couple products from Freedom Mom. This upside down peri bottle is the best, especially if you tear. I didn't really have much tearing, so I didn't use it a lot, but it has wonderful, wonderful reviews. So many moms swear by this. The upside down feature is a lot better than the one that you get in the hospital that you have to like twist your arm and stuff. So this is probably worth splurging on the name brand. I also got her some perineal healing foam. This is Freedom Mom brand as well. If you don't want to splurge on the Freedom Mom brand, you could also do Dermoplast. I have done that in the past for one of these boxes, but the foam is kind of nice, and this is what I've bought for myself. If you have a friend that is doing a planned C-section, you could also include some supplies for C-section healing specifically, but a lot of these will apply whether you are going to have a vaginal birth or a C-section, just because you're going to be bleeding regardless and maybe have some discomfort down there. So I'd recommend the diapers for probably C-section or a vaginal delivery. And then let's see what else. The other main thing that I am going to be including is a lot of stuff for breastfeeding. If you have a friend that's planning on breastfeeding, you can go crazy with the amount of supplies. If you don't have a friend that's planning on breastfeeding, you could skip a lot of this. But I find that in the beginning of breastfeeding, I'm in a lot of pain. So in terms of pain, these soothing and cooling gel pads help immensely. This brand is great. There are also some from Medela that I'll link in the description box below that I have personally used a lot and really enjoyed. You could, again, splurge a little bit more and get the Silverette nipple covers. Those are really helpful. And then I believe also from this brand, I have these gel packs that you can either heat up in the microwave or freeze in the freezer. And they have like a little fuzzy attachment that you can put on them, and you can put them into your bra. That is really helpful. So any of those, I guess 3 products, the cooling pads, the Silverette little nipple covers are very healing and cooling, or the pads that you can heat up or cool down would be a great gift to help with that initial pain of breastfeeding. I've also included a nipple butter. The Earth Mama brand is what I have. It's my favorite. It's worked really well. It lasts a really long time. I don't typically use it that often, but it is very helpful. Then the other thing that happens a lot of times early postpartum is if you're breastfeeding, there can be a lot of leaking. So including either a pack of reusable breast pads or the disposable ones are nice as well to have on hand. I like using the reusable ones because I use them so often. Not every mom is going to leak, so you don't necessarily know if your friend is going to experience leaking. If they do, and even if they don't, I love having a milk catcher or a milk collector in the early postpartum phase and throughout all of the breastfeeding journey. Especially early postpartum, you can catch a lot of the leaking that you're having or the letdown as you breastfeed on one side. A lot of times the other breast will leak milk. And if you are not wanting to pump right away, which is not recommended because it can lead to an oversupply, catching your milk on the other side or both sides throughout the day as your milk is regulating, a lot of times you just leak, can build up a great stash of milk without pumping. I chose the Boone Trove. Now I have pretty much every single milk collector myself except for the Boone Trove. I am hoping she loves this because, again, I've heard great things. And the other thing is that you can just stick it in your bra and not use any suction and have it collect milk passively, or you can kind of engage a little bit of suction and have it pull the milk from you, acting more like a passive pump. But if you do engage the suction, then it is initiating suction on your breast. So it is going to be telling your body to produce more milk if you do engage the suction. And so if you are very, very early postpartum, using it probably just very passively is going to be the better option. But again, using this throughout the whole breastfeeding journey is going to get a great milk stash going. And then for any moms, whether they're breastfeeding or not, you could toss in some snacks. I did booby bars. They're kind of expensive, so it's nice to treat the mom to some of these breastfeeding specific supplies that can be pricey. The booby bars are delicious. Like, I love these. The oatmeal chocolate chip flavor is really good. I've had the peanut butter flavor. The blueberry one is also really good. You could toss in some breastfeeding protein powders or drink mixes, anything like that. Or, like I said, if you have a friend that's not planning on breastfeeding, just some really high quality granola bars or snacks, maybe some liquid IV or electrolyte drinks. And the whole point of this is that we don't always take care of ourselves after we give birth. So giving them that extra fuel and hydration will help them be the best moms they can be. And if I lived closer to my friend, I would be baking these for her, but because I don't, I am sending her a printout of my favorite lactation cookie recipe, and I'm just gonna fold this and stick it in the box there. I'm gonna leave a couple of notes because there are things like brewer's yeast in here, and that's one of the ingredients that helps with lactation, supposedly. And I'm just gonna write a little note that she can find that on Amazon or at a health food store like Whole Foods, because if you've never done this before, you might not know where to find that stuff. So I'm gonna leave a few notes here and let her know that she can freeze these in advance. I have a card here that I'm gonna sit down in just a moment and write her a little letter. I'm gonna explain all of these different things just briefly as to what they're for, and then right at the end that she can always call me if she has any questions whatsoever on how to use any of this or any questions. She knows this while she's pregnant or after she gives birth. And then the other thing I'm going to toss in there is I am going to toss in this cute little book that I have. It's a 0+ book that has a lot of crinkle features and stuff. Just like a little thing for the baby. Definitely not necessary because this is meant to be a gift for her. But I have this gift and thought I should toss it in there with all of her stuff. So if you have a friend that's going to give birth soon, this would be something that's extremely thoughtful to do for them. Again, you don't have to do all of these specific things. You can do it on a smaller scale, a bigger scale, whatever you're able to do. I'm sure your friend would be extremely appreciative. So with that, I'm going to grab my tissue paper. She's having a little boy, so I got some blue tissue paper. I'm gonna start packing this up and write her a little note. So I wanna thank you so much for joining me today as together we make this motherhood journey sophisticated.